They said he had his hands up and everything, man.
They was trying to get at him?
I don't know. I wasn't out here. I just heard the gunshot.
I heard the gunshots from Wall Wall. Stay all the way up there.
I knew something happened. It's too early in the day.
Who is the...
My black grandfather told me about his journey perilous out of the South. And I heard from my black self from that black man's mouth that he promised God if he got him out of the South safely, he would never go back. And I watched that black man keep that promise until he was called back to the essence. And I thank God for that black man and all of the lessons. It's just that a politrician's heaven is a black man's hell. And this black man knows firsthand the pressure of being a young black male. I became a suspect the moment I stepped outside of my home, and I fit so many descriptions. I must be a black man clone. But I believe that I have the right to be judged by my words, by my deeds, and by the content of my character, and not by some flawed connection of my complexion to a predisposition for crime. And black man, I believe that I have the right to walk down the street without you shooting at me as you drive by. I am sick and tired of black on black violence. But I'm more sick and I'm more tired of black on black silence.
Allegations of police brutality and their excessive use of force towards the unarmed civilian has been a hot-button issue for many years. More than 20 years ago, the LA riots of 1992 were a great example of a community acting out their frustration with regards to their community and the relationship with the police.
They look at it like, most of the crimes are created by people of color, so they are always on suspicious mode, and I think that they're even more suspicious of African American males versus females, because I don't particularly feel that when I pass a cop, the cop is necessarily looking at me. It's just a type, you know what I mean? So, and I think that he's young. He's between the ages of 18 to maybe 30, and he's African American male.
What the hell they doing with these brothers?
In the summer of 2014, in a small suburb of Ferguson, an unarmed young man by the name of Michael Brown was fatally shot by a white police officer 6 times, twice in the head. Officer Darren Wilson was not indicted by a grand jury for killing Mike Brown. This sparked a wave of protests not only by the community in Ferguson, but all throughout the United States and abroad. In New York, the chokehold death of Eric Gardner was captured on video. This highly publicized death helped add another layer to the pile of evidence against the United States police and their use of force. The focus began to shift towards the question, why are black males more likely to be killed by police rather than their white counterparts?
I think that we will continue, of course, to train and retrain our officers and make sure that they are utilizing this particular tactic in the appropriate legal and constitutional fashion, while at the same time trying to do their jobs to make sure that the city is safe.
The relationship between the police and the community has already been strained for quite some time.
I've known all along we don't trust the police, and we have reasons not to trust them. So prove us wrong.
We don't always get the reports of everyone who has been killed by the hands of law enforcement, and I don't think that they're all African American, you know. However, the brutality and the injustice is at a higher rate, is an alarming rate for Black people.
Help me! Help me! Help me! Help me! Help me! Somebody help me! Please! Help me! Help me! Help me! Help me! Please help me! Help me! Help me! Help me!
And we see cases like, you know, Eric Garner, and we look at them and we say, hold up, you know, that could be my brother, that could be my cousin, that could be my boyfriend. I can't, how can I trust you? How do I know that I'm safe with you? So it's always been a strained relationship.
How do you believe it could be repaired?
That's such a great question. Can it be repaired?
So there's serious questions concerning the investigation. There's a tape that they will refuse to release, and we're demanding that the tape be shown because it has the footage of what actually took place. And what we're asking at this point is whatever took place, if it exonerates the police, fine. If it shows that Brandon was murdered by the police unjustifiably, then fine too. We just need the truth.
26 years old, and y'all killed him for nothing. For nothing at all.
At least get to see what happened that night if there's evidence to prove guilt or innocence. And then it begs the question that what the hell does the police have to hide? Because if it exonerates the two officers, they would have been showed the tape by now.
I made sure that he had everything he needed inside of that business. He cared about everybody that he worked for. He said that he would work in Checkers to never go back to jail. And y'all gonna sit here and say this man deserved to die? What if it was your kid? Y'all not mad? Y'all should be mad out
It's
here.
very common. You have white suspects who shoot and kill highway patrol people, and they take them into custody alive. A routine traffic stop for quote-unquote your lights being out, and you wind up with your brains on the sidewalk. It's just very commonplace now when it comes to Black and minority people of color. It's just wrong. And so I'm fucking pissed off about it. All we're saying is release the tape. Again, if you have nothing to hide, then you're good. All right. All right, no problem. Okay. about to go and do the interview, so I will see you at 10.
Brandon was born 1188, November the 1st, I'm sorry, at Women's Medical College.
So at what point does it become right for an unarmed black man to be shot in the back of the head one time? You know, the story doesn't make sense.
Okay.
Why didn't his partner fire? Why was there only one shot fired?
Okay.
Why wasn't
and
the gun
somebody at the
removed?
office asked me this question. At what point is it okay for a cop to shoot someone?
It's not okay. It's not okay unless
Well, according to police, anytime they feel threatened, it is okay. But according to Pennsylvania, with his back to you and nothing in his hand, he is not considered a threat. And I can say that and know it to be so because my son was shot in the back of the head and they never said he had a gun in his hand. They said they thought he was going for one.
He was coming home from work. You don't need a gun.
He was
when
coming
you're
home.
legit.
He was going home. He had to get up
going
for
home.
work that morning.
Besides transparency, what needs to happen?
And I do not want the police to be above the law when they're committing a crime. I want the cameras here in the cars, on the person, if not every pole, light, whatever. You need, yes. The point is, what is it, Paris, London, and all of them have it. Why can't we have it?
We want justice for
We
Brandon.
want an indictment.
We
And
want
I do
justice,
not want,
and
that's all.
And if the tape shows that the police, which we believe were acting out of character, we want District Attorney Seth Williams to have the courage and the character to indict the police officers and charge them with a crime. It's already been ruled, his shooting has already been ruled a homicide.
Yeah.
His shooting was ruled a
It's
homicide?
ruled-
Really?
ruled
I mean,
homicide.
ruled Brandon's shooting a homicide.
Yes, his death
homicide.
certificate says that.
Yeah, it was ruled a homicide. So if, according to the tape and any evidence that shows up, witnesses that again
But
complies with the tape, we want the officers charged.
But was it ruled a justifiable homicide?
I don't believe it was justifiable.
No, I know, but what?
No, they just
What
ruled
did
it a
they-
homicide by
They ruled it
police.
a homicide by police.
You still had a 2-on-1 situation, so it wasn't like it was a single officer and Brandon alone in the night. You did have a partner. If it was a issue of subduing him or controlling or whatever the issue is, it was still a 2-on-1 situation. And so, again, was it absolutely necessary to shoot him in the back of the head?
Is there anything that you guys want to, because I think one of the issues that definitely played into this was the fact that there were two rookies. We kind of addressed this earlier. Do you think that there needs to be rules about you can't put two rookies together?
I thought it was a rule. I thought there's no way two rookies should have been on the beat overnight, period, in the story together.
Right.
You should always have a seasoned police officer along with the rookie.
So that's how they tagged them up.
And not having enough senior officers is not an excuse not to have two rookie officers working together.
Right.
With little to no experience on the street.
It all comes down to the character when you have issues like this. That's why it comes back to the tape. The tape will reveal all of the questions. If there was misconduct, show the tape. If there was an issue concerning Brandon being uncooperative, it will show the tape. And we're willing to accept whatever the truth is.
Yes.
But don't hide the evidence. Don't keep putting Tanya and this family, our family, in distress. When you clearly can show the tape and we can move past it and grieve.
Wow.
But this is my personal statement. I mean, it's good to do things in a group and make a stand. But sometimes we need to express ourselves as individuals to take that stand. Sometimes you take a personal. This is the way I pay tribute to Trayvon Martin, to Eric Garner, Tamir Rice, Brandon Tate Brown. You know, others who have been murdered by the police. And I want to be a conceited ass and say I'm always ready. But,
Just tell me how you really feel about what's going in your gut feeling right now.
Well, I'm always nervous anytime there's a potential confrontation with the police. It's always in the back of my mind. Not just so much for me, but for the people that are around me. I just want to make sure everyone is safe.
This separates the boys from the men, right here. No justice, no peace. 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 What do we want? Justice. When do we want it? Now. Black lives matter. 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 No justice, no peace.